All right, episode 33 of Love Island All Stars starts with Leanne talking. I think she's talking to Lucinda. I think that's Lucinda about her and the whole Belle situation and if she's going to bring it up. She doesn't think she will. She's not sure. Scott's telling the guys about what Belle said about him leaving Leanne in a week after they get out of there and then sliding into her DMs. He's saying that won't happen. And he also said he's going to pull her aside to have that discussion. So he pulls her aside and he mentions that, and she's about what she said about him leaving and going into her DMs. And she said that she wanted to clear up that it had nothing against Leanne. Because I think because when Leanne got her video call from Cass, I think that was that girl's name, that she said that Belle wasn't her friend because of that comment. And so Belle wanted to clear it up and say that it was nothing against Leanne, but okay. But Scott told her that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And they had a good conversation. And I think Belle, after she talked to her dad and her mom, and they were like saying, kind of stay out of the drama. You said what you had to say, don't cause drama. And so she was like, you know, they talked, and I think Scott said, "Can we still be friends?" or something like that. She said yes, and I think because she had a conversation at the beginning of the episode with Sean, and they kind of squashed everything and said they'd still be friends. So I think she was just in that mode, and so they had a good conversation. They ended with a hug. Leanne is telling Jesse that she's obsessed with Scott. Scott and Belle come over after their conversation, and it's funny because you could see Leanne's really trying to find out what was said, but they were like, they told her they squashed their beef, and they were just joking around with saying, Scott said, yeah, and I'm always right. And it was just a lighthearted conversation, but you could tell Leanne's still a little leery of Belle. Harrison gets a text, and it said that they're going to do a game about how well they know each other, or it's called Knowing Me, Knowing You. So one of the questions was, where's the oddest place your partner had sex? And Leanne said, in the Love Island villa, and Sean said in a car, I think. And everybody was like, wait a minute, in the Love Island villa? Because earlier the girls were talking, and Lucinda kind of told them that something happened last night. But Zach was funny. He was like, "You guys did the nasty," and they were like, "No, no." But obviously they did. And also when they were talking, I think Scott and Leanne did too. Okay, now the other question was, well, there was another question that was, what did you think your partner's body count was? Now, okay, is it me or I'm of a certain age, so okay, but is it normal for the body count to be like 100 and something? Like usually when they do these games on all the shows, they always have like high numbers like that. Like to me, and I'm not joking, that's high. Is that, if somebody please tell me, is that normal for nowadays for like this generation? Is it normal to like have that many people? Not judging, but I want to know, is that just a normal thing? I mean, I guess it is because everybody's having high numbers on all the shows. So Kieran 130. Harrison said 6, so I guess I'm a little wrong about Harrison. I mean, he still plays games, but I guess he's not sleeping around. Yaman said, "Y'all ain't getting me on TV talking about my body count." Zach said he was a virgin. Okay, Zach. The next question was, who do you think your partner would be coupled up if they weren't coupled up with you? Who would they be coupled up with if they weren't coupled up with you? And Leanne said Belle, which makes sense because that's probably what Scott would have done. Scott said Belle as well. And she was like, "Oh, did you say the same thing?" And she tried to make a thing out of it, but I don't think it's a thing. It's just because they had that thing and whatever. It's not, but I think she took it as Sammy said Jesse. Jesse said Belle. And so did Tommy. Belle said Helena for Harrison. Harrison said Helena too. Helena was like, never gonna happen. Whitney said Helena for Yaman. Yaman said Leanne. Whitney was surprised. I don't think she was happy either about that. Yaman said he thought for sure she would have said Leanne. Lucinda said Millie. Sean said Millie. Helena said Whitney for Carrington. He would couple up with Whitney. Whitney was like, huh? Carrington matched Helena's and said Whitney. And speaking of Whitney, like I said, I didn't watch her other shows, but was Whitney likable on her other shows? Because, like, I go back and forth with liking her, and I just wonder what she was like on her other show. I guess I can go watch them, but I don't know if I'm going to do all that. But to me, I feel like she's trying to get airtime by kind of butting in on everybody's situation and commenting on everybody's situation and kind of trying to tell people how they should feel. And so I just wonder what she was like on her other seasons. Millie says Jesse for Zach because she's the only other person that he got to know. He matched that. Then it was so funny because I think the question was like, who would you not want to be stuck in an elevator with? They called it a lift. I think that's what they call elevator. And Yaman was like, Scott. Scott was like, what the heck? Sean said Scott. Carrington said Scott. So then they announced the winners. And, but before that, though, there was another question. I think it was who you wouldn't want to be stuck in a chat with. And a lot of people said Carrington. He was like, dang. But anyway, they announced the winners. The winners, I can't remember who it was, though. But anyway, the losers were Yaman and Whitney. Whitney was not happy about that at all. Later, Whitney and Yaman were joking about Whitney was like, I guess we don't know we're not compatible. Maybe she said something about Leanne, and then he said, I guess you want Jack back in here. They were joking about that. So Yaman gets a text and it says that because they were the losers, they get to go on a date. Everybody was all mad. They were like, why do the losers get to do something fun? But I guess they figured they need to get to know each other. So they're going on a date. They looked really good together. I like them. I really like them together. I like how they joke around, and I really like Yaman. I don't know anything about him either. I never saw his season or what he was like, but I do like him on here, and I like them together. Sean's telling the guys that he wants to ask Lucinda to be his girlfriend, so they're going to help him have some little romantic moment. Yaman and Whitney's dates, nice. And he called her, he said something about him being you're with your man. And she's like, oh, you're my man. He said, yeah. He was telling her that he thinks about the future with them and like going to the UK, and it's not hard to make a long distance relationship work. And he just really put a smile on her face. And I really hope these two make it. So Lucinda says yes, she'll be his girlfriend. Okay, now the guys, I mean, this was nice, but they really thought they did something. They cut up some strawberries and had some kind of dip and then put some gummies around it. And they were like, this is very presentable. It's like Gordon Ramsay. They really thought they did something. But I mean, it was nice. Lucinda, they come down and they say we're a couple, or we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and everybody hugs, and then she hugs Belle. That was a little awkward. Jesse gets a text saying that there was a vote, America or the UK voted, and the couple with the least amount of votes is going home. He is hilarious. This is Yaman's response when he hears that. Everyone's shocked. Zach and Millie, because nobody expected that. They're all having fun. So who are we thinking? Who's going home? I don't know. I don't know who's going to get the least amount of votes. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow night.